So in today's video, I wanted to highlight 5 things that annoy me about Forza Horizon 5. I've now clocked over 85 hours in the game. Yes, I actually don't have a life. And I want to talk about these things because they also appear in other Forza Horizon games I've played over the years. So let's get straight into them. Number 1, lack of new customization options. It's getting quite familiar and repetitive to see the same 6 categories constantly being offered for customization. Now I think it's fair to say that a lot of people will point the finger at the new audible differences between certain engine upgrades. For example, if you upgrade your intake, you get a sound like such. But to be quite honest, do they really make that much of a difference? I think it depends on the car. I think some cars do sound better with different intakes and also with different exhausts. For example, with this Audi RS5, there is a significant tonal difference between the exhausts if you listen. Now, while I really do appreciate the amount of work that Playground Games have put into Forza Horizon 5 in terms of making the cars sound audibly better, fuller, and more like they're in the environments that they're travelling in, I'm not as convinced as everybody else that these additions make the customization much better than before, when really they don't add a huge amount to the cars anyway. Now, another feature I would love to see from a cosmetic point of view under the Designs and Paints menu would be the ability to put tints on the front and rear lights of a car. It would be nice to come in here and be able to apply some tinting to the rear lights or also to the front lights like so, but that's not something we can do and it's not something we've ever been able to do. It would also be cool if we could black out or tint some of the window surrounds. For example, on this Audi A5 you've got this chrome window surround which looks ugly as fuck, and also on the front of the car, and this also applies to numerous different brands, to be able to black out the grille, the surrounds around the grille, and also maybe black out the badge or the rings as well. So those are just some general comments around the lack of new customization options. Quite frankly, if you've been playing Forza Horizon since the 3rd game, you will notice that pretty much the entire system is exactly the same. Number 2, and it's something I have been feeling since I started playing the game first, is the difficulty of the AI. Is it just me, or is the game this year much more difficult for the same difficulties? So right now I'm playing a race on the Pro difficulty, and as you can see, as usual, the AI gets a better launch than me, which seems to happen in every single race. One thing you will also notice in almost every single higher difficulty category is that 2 cars at the front will often just pull away. It's very difficult to catch first or second in these types of races because they leave such an enormous gap. It seems like a straight line speed deficit that you always have no matter what car you pick. In this case, I'm driving a fully tuned Aston Martin Vulcan with over 1200 horsepower, and the only places I can catch these guys are in the corners. However, once we get into the straights, they are significantly faster than I am, and I find it very, very difficult to catch them. In Forza Horizon 4, I often played on the Pro difficulty, but as you can see, struggling on the Pro difficulty now. Another aspect of the AI difficulty being more difficult this year is the fact that when you try to play the game on the unbeatable difficulty, which is what I tried to do numerous times in this game so far without much success, there is an achievement this year if you are intending to platinum the game where you have to win 6 different races on the unbeatable difficulty. So this is my 2nd lap. I have been driving pretty well, putting in some good lap times with this Ferrari F12, and as you can see, the AI are absolutely gone and I am sitting in pretty old last place. So the unbeatable difficulty in Forza Horizon 5 really is unbeatable. Number 3 is your character. As always in Forza Horizon, your character is somebody who acts as a focal point for all of the cutscenes in the game and interacts with the other NPCs. The problem is the voice acting is shit.
Wait, it is on. Surely they know how my voice sounds now.
The clothes are too expensive.
95,000 credits for fucking jeans.
The clothes appear in wheel spins, taking up precious slots for better prizes. And really, your player doesn't appear on screen enough to warrant all this customization. Number 4 is definitely the radio stations, or the weakness of the radio stations. This is something I never expected to say, because Forza Horizon 2, 3 and 4 had amazing songs in the game. I just can't help but feel that the soundtrack in Forza Horizon 5 is a little bit lacking, a little bit thin and somewhat forgettable. I actually purposely turned the radio off now, as you can see, and also turned the radio DJ off, which by the way is the most annoying fucking thing they've ever introduced to a game. I don't need to hear him, I just need to hear the music. Even though some of the familiar artists from previous games returned to the game this year, they just don't quite produce what I would classify as memorable epic music. There were so many tracks to pick from in Horizon 3 and 4. In fact, the best music in Horizon 5 in my opinion is actually the menu music. Unfortunately, I won't be able to show you a sample of that for copyright reasons. Number 5 is the speed of progression. Forza Horizon 5, more than ever in the franchise's history, feels like a game that is designed to give you all of the rewards as early as possible so you can take them online and play modes like Eliminator, etc. There are numerous races across different disciplines, but they all just end a little bit too quickly for my liking. There isn't a real sense of achievement in the single player like there was in Forza Horizon 2 and 3, and that's something I've noticed since I've been playing this game. As I've mentioned at the start of this video, I'm now about 85 hours into the game, and while I'm not finished, the rate at which I got to this point is a little bit alarming. You see, to be honest, I probably spend most of my time doing things like trying to get 3 stars in PR stunts, or trying to maximize the amount of speed I can generate in a speed camera zone, or trying to get the most amount of skill points in a drift zone. I don't spend all of my time doing the main storyline races, but when I do go back to the main story races like the road races, stunt races, etc., they seem to pass by really quickly, and suddenly I'm rewarded with things like an Aston Martin Vulcan from a wheel spin, or a Ferrari FXXK from a super wheel spin. Now let me just clarify, it is fantastic that you can get these rewards in the game from wheel spins and you don't have to spend any real money on bullshit microtransactions. It just feels like within the first 3 or 4 hours of Forza Horizon 5 you will have set yourself up for completing the game much quicker than you should. You won't have a great sense of achievement, and the game overall just isn't that much of a challenge or very difficult. So this has been my 5 annoying things about Forza Horizon 5. I hope you've enjoyed the video. It took me a long time to edit this one, getting used to the process and getting a little bit better with things. I am intending to create a 5 things I love about Forza Horizon 5 video in the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned for that. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that subscribe button, give me a like, plenty more Forza content to come, and I'll see you guys all next time.